The better lesson would have been to say, yo, Bronny, you see Stephen A over there? Go walk up to him, shake his hand, introduce yourself to him, and say, I would love to get to know you more so that way you can have some better conversations about me and my dad. And in a non-confrontational manner, Bronny then goes and is able to gain the upper hand in that situation, because now everybody gonna be wondering, what did Bronny say to you, Stephen A? You've been critical of him and his dad. What did he say to you? And then when Stephen A says, well, Bronny just walked up to me respectfully and said, hey, I just want to build a better relationship between me and you so you can stop saying negative things about me and we can move forward in a better manner. Bronny and LeBron would have came out of that situation looking so much better. Like, you're not supposed to get in the mud. And that's what LeBron chose to do. And just because you a dad, you don't mean you choose to get in the mud. Sometimes it's a better lesson. That's my only point.
No, but again, this is me acknowledging that's your style. That's your decision. That's what Thomas would have done. That's cool. All I am saying, because we're kind of saying the same thing, but what I'm saying is, but niggas get in the mud. You feel me? This is real life. Niggas get in the mud and get dirty. You feel me? And and me and you both have been on the other side of that dad having a fiery fucking conversation. And if they had the choice to retaliate, if you had the choice to retaliate, if I had the choice to retaliate before being afforded the opportunity to calm down, to trusting someone to guide you in a better manner, we would have made a decision that would have saw more mud get on us than we would have wanted. And all I'm saying is like, I get this. And again, this is not even us disagreeing on like both of them being wrong. I agree with you. Like both, like, and I'm speaking to logic, every step of the way and questioning it because I love how dynamic this situation is. This is really, really like dynamic at the highest level. Both of them were wrong, period. Stephen A crossed the line, LeBron crossed the line. But what I'm speaking to is, okay, now that we have talked about both of them crossing the line, we don't, as the outer party or as the viewer, we don't have the right to say, oh, man, they should have done this. You know what I mean? We can say, hey, I would have done this. And I can say, you know what? Yeah. Because I can agree with you that I don't know if I would have, you know me, I love strategy. I don't know if I would have played it like that. But I think that we get in these situations of, we've seen LeBron James traverse thousands of interactions. And this one time, and I'm not saying you're saying that like he can't come back from or anything like that. Like,
no. It's nothing but like if you fell off your bike and you scraped your arm a little bit. I'm not saying this is in a negative way. I'm just saying that like I look at LeBron and what he has become, and I've said this numerous times publicly. I believe LeBron is a top 100 human being to live when you account for everything that he has become, what he's dealt with, and he stayed clean. In large part, I'm behind the scenes. I don't hear about no LeBron scandals. No, and I hear about and I see a lot of athletes doing a lot of crazy stuff, whether I'm being a journalist or I'm just hanging out. So I'm not disrespecting LeBron or think that, but I just thought that it was just a better learning lesson for Bronny there. And at that particular point, he became too much of an overprotective dad. Whereas if it was his daughter, I would understand. But with his son, I felt like there was a lesson to be learned for his son. That's my point.
But see, I don't.
I'll put it this way. Privately, like I said, if he would have did the end of tunnels, I wouldn't have cared. And publicly, if you want to still humiliate Stephen A. and give your son that lesson, you have your son go and speak positively, because you also know Stephen A. not going to come at Bronny with no crazy energy because he know his camera's around.
But I don't. So
even if you screamed at him and then you sent your son to go, shake hands to be like, all right, we gonna break bread. Let's move in a different path. The question and all of the questions from the media, me as a media member, gonna be, well, Stephen A., what the fuck happened? And instead of it being LeBron came up to me screaming and cursing at me, and if he would have swung on me, I would have swung on him back. It would have been, yeah, LeBron came and screamed and cursed at me in the tunnel, and I didn't think I deserved that. But then when Bronny came up to me in the middle of the game and introduced himself, and he was a kind young man, I realized that I gotta, I need to be a little bit more kinder with my words, because LeBron is doing the thing that I criticized him about, which I essentially criticize his parenting and him putting him on his platform, when instead he's teaching Bronny how to navigate that. And I think that would have been a valuable lesson. Not saying LeBron was wrong. I'm just saying I think it was a lesson to be learned from that. And hopefully other people will see that and learn that lesson.
And there's still, again, like they still learned. I disagree with the son versus daughter thing. I think that like regardless, like some of these aren't gender norms, you know what I mean? And I want to be careful about like how we approach it, because like, it's, I'm just saying certain things.
When you got a 20-year-old young man, you should allow him the grace enough to go and speak on his own behalf, because all of this, if Bronny didn't exist, none of this we wouldn't be talking about. This.
So if it was a 20-year-old woman, she couldn't speak on her behalf? Oh, look, we'll get that later.
No. That's not what I'm saying. Because I said LeBron went and spoke on Bronny's behalf.
No, you said
listen to what I'm saying. I literally said that the better lesson was for LeBron to confront him privately and let Bronny be the person to be the bigger person publicly, so Stephen A feels some level of shame because, this person is a good person that I'm criticizing. So even if it was my daughter, the actions would have been way more immediate. But for me, because Bronny is a professional and he is on my same basketball team, I would not have instructed Bronny to go out there and crash out, and I wouldn't have crashed out on Bronny's behalf. I would have crashed out behind the scenes and let Bronny learn a valuable lesson from that, because it is a different thing. And I will say this as a person, there are probably 10,000 hours of me talking on the internet, right? Mm-hmm. I do not speak about women the same way that I speak about men, and people can feel however they want to. I do not speak about women the same way that I speak about men. I give women a lot more grace and space, a lot less jokes, and a lot less crude and harsh criticism, because anything I can say can be taken and be misconstrued as me being sexist rather than it being me like constructive criticism.
No, of course.
So if you ever do hear me or see me criticize a woman on the internet, I personally felt like whatever happened was egregious. Gotcha. So I say that to say I'm sure and I believe Stephen A has the same principles. So yes, my reaction to someone being publicly critical of my daughter would be different, because I don't move in that manner. Versus when it comes to talking about men and entertainment and playing sports and basketball, and I'm critiquing them, and sometimes they got character flaws that we point out, yeah, I'm going to be a little bit more harsher on them. Yes, I will be. And if those men want to see me in real life, cool. But I'm not going to criticize someone's daughter and be on the internet trashing somebody's daughter, not expecting their father not to come after me. I'm more so expecting that man to come and confront me than his dad is to come and confront me. That's just my personal opinion on it.
That's cool.